Today, we have a national, not even a national disaster. We have an international incident, an international disaster, guys. One of the worst stories I've heard this year. I'm not even being facetious, guys. You know, this one is emotional and sad, guys. We have Peanut the Squirrel owner, rips New York for killing his social media star. This is TMZ. For those who are wondering, this man in New York City, he owned basically a squirrel and a raccoon, and then the New York authorities, I don't know why, but they saw him blowing up on social media, taking over social media. Of course, guys, once you become famous, they have to do something, right? So he took the squirrel away from him. They took the squirrel and raccoon away from him, saying that they were transmitting rabies, which they don't even, I don't even think squirrels transmit rabies. Maybe raccoons, but they're domestic pets, guys. They're not going to be transmitting any sort of diseases. And they actually ended up destroying them, guys, i.e. killing them. So a super sad case. People were saying it's a conspiracy because Donald Trump he was getting people to vote for Donald Trump and stuff like that. And now Elon Musk is blowing up on Twitter talking about it. So we're going to hear exactly what happened. Drop a comment down below, guys. Subscribe for gains. Get a t-shirt. Get a hat, man. I have a bunch of different clothes. And also subscribe to my Patreon. Loads of videos on Patreon as well. Let's get it, man.
We just learned that they have euthanized Peanut.
And the raccoon as well.
And the raccoon as well. I am so sorry. This must be really difficult for you.
It not only tears my family apart, but Peanut was the cornerstone of our nonprofit animal rescue. And 10 to 12 DEC officers raided my house as if I was a drug dealer. I was sat outside my house for 5 hours. I had to get a police escort to my bathroom. I wasn't even allowed to feed my rescue horses breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal.
Like, I hear America, I love America, and you hear all these amazing stories of making money from this country and stuff. But then you hear stories like this, and you're like, what the hell is going on, guys? There's some deeper meaning going on here. His house, the police raided his house just to look for squirrels and like these social media icons, like a raccoon. Very strange, because I just don't really understand what the hell is going on. Like, that's why I personally probably wouldn't live there anymore. Like, to make money, you'd make the most money there. There's no doubt. It's the place to make money. But in terms of this kind of stuff, guys, like, why are they killing a squirrel? I love squirrels. In Ireland, guys, we have loads of squirrels. I love flipping squirrels, man. We have them gray ones. I know in America they have the red ones. We don't really have red squirrels. We have gray squirrels,
Versus breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal after they interrogated my wife to check out her immigration status, then proceeded to ask me if I had cameras in my house, then proceeded to go through every cabinet, nook, and cranny of my house for a squirrel and a raccoon.
They got a search warrant?
They got a search warrant. 4 departments and a judge signed off on a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon.
And then hold on a second. Isn't America in like 3 or 4 different wars around the world? They have to be minding the war in the Middle East, the flipping war in Ukraine now with Russia. Don't they have bigger fish to fry? Like, shouldn't they allocate the resources better? Aren't there like Venezuela gangs taking over America? Like, factual, this is what Trump is saying. There's like these huge, like massive, like civil unrest in America. Massive, skyrocketing violent crime, gun shootings, all this crazy mass shootings. Shouldn't they be allocating their resources better? Why are they focusing on a squirrel? Like, I'm telling you guys, there is a deeper meaning to this. Like, this is surface level. We don't know the full picture here. And I'm not saying about this guy. I'm talking about that why they kidnapped this squirrel and then, killed it.
Signed off on a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon. And then they took them and killed them.
What?
Why did they go through all that to get a search warrant for an animal that had been with you very safely, and the world witnessed this for 7 years? Why now suddenly did they show up with a search warrant and take these animals?
We haven't a clue. We don't know who made the complaints. Again, Peanut was an indoor squirrel, not harming anybody. He's been with us for 7 years. Not a single complaint was ever filed for this animal. We had him for 7.5 years. He became the world's most famous squirrel. We weren't hiding him by any means.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't know about Peanut the Squirrel. Okay, I'm not on like TikTok or whatever platform that he was on, but if he's that famous, guys, I don't know why would they kill him? It's crazy.
7.5 years, he became the world's most famous squirrel. We weren't hiding him by any means. He was all over TikTok. He became the first squirrel on TikTok to ever hit 1 million followers. He did every news station around the world. He's helped people. He's helped kids gather joy. And then we started a nonprofit animal rescue called Peanut's Freedom Farm to help animals like Peanut fight a good fight when they're in a neglected case or they're sitting in a slaughter auction. And he was the cornerstone of our life and our organization. We used his platform to help raise money for the 300 animals we have at our sanctuary.
That's
How
crazy.
did you find out?
That's disgusting.
That-
I actually think this is just a disgusting story, guys, honestly. I mean, this is a depressing, demoralizing kind of story. I mean, it's awful, bro.
They euthanized Peanut.
They haven't messaged me. They haven't called me. They haven't given me a formal statement whatsoever. The last time I heard from the DEC was when they left my house. Another news station called me with their statement, and that's how I found out Peanut is gone. They didn't even have the heart to call me themselves to tell me what was going on. This state has more problems than a squirrel and a raccoon, and we're using our taxpayers' dollars to help take these animals out of a comfortable place, all because of some paperwork. The statement released that Peanut bit one of the people. Peanut's bitten me 5 times in 7 years. Peanut also is an animal that only knows me.
What? That's bullshit, guys. A squirrel biting you? What a bunch of pussies. This is the thing, guys. The police act all big and tough and stuff. You know, America, they have their guns and their rockets and they have all these tanks and they act all tough. And then when a dog runs at them and barks, they just shoot the dog. I'm like, really? You can't fight off a dog? Me and my friends, we used to wrestle dogs. We used to choke dogs out. I mean, they were like biting us, you know? We used to like choke dogs. We used to wrestle with dogs when we were kids at like 15, 14. You know, pit bulls, Rottweilers and shit like that. Because we used to wrestle dogs. You know, the shit I did when I was a kid is insane. Guys, I think back, I'm like, what the hell was I doing? But the police, all these masculine guys, they killed a squirrel because a squirrel bit them. Oh, a squirrel bit them. A squirrel bite wouldn't even leave blood, guys. There's nothing. My cat bites me all the time and scratches me. I don't even give a shit. It's a cat, 10-pound cat. A squirrel weighs like 2 pounds. Oh, maybe not even, maybe 5, maybe half a pound. Oh, this story is just awful, bro. Like, why would they kill a squirrel because it bit them? The squirrel was probably distressed because you were attacking it. Like, seriously?
It's bitten me 5 times in 7 years. Peanut also is an animal that only knows me. So why wouldn't you have protective gloves on and protective equipment to allow an animal like him that to bite you? Also, to be honest with you, I don't buy it whatsoever.
They were probably being rough with it as well. You know, animals, guys, they can kind of like interface with humans. It's like, you know, they can kind of interface with us. Dogs especially, they look at us, they feel our emotions. We actually evolved with pets, dogs, cats, squirrels, wolves. We actually evolved with these animals. So these animals have been around for as long as humans have been around. So that when they feel distressed, they do the same thing as us. They freak out. So I would imagine that the guy didn't have gloves on. I mean, why wouldn't they have gloves on? This is the dumbest cover-up of all time. And he's a social media star, guys. It's ridiculous.
To bite you. Also, to be honest with you, I don't buy it whatsoever.
Yeah.
The fact
I didn't know about squirrels ever in my life, and when I came to Peanut a couple of years ago, like, he would have never bitten me. Like, he never bit me.
The complaints we're told are anonymous. So anonymous claims got the state to get a search warrant, which was signed by multiple different departments and a judge.
For what?
So I want to know what the evidence was that this was such a devastating thing to the community that we had to waste taxpayers' dollars and ruin a family in a nonprofit animal rescue because we have power?
The taxpayers of New York City were paying for that, guys. I mean, could you imagine? Like, what are they even doing on Wall Street, guys? Isn't there like some sort of white-collar crime going on? Like, there's massive crime and corruption in New York. I was in New York for like a few hours this summer, and it just seemed like wild. They have so much money. It's like, and it just seemed so rich. I'm like, why would you be wasting time? It just focus on crime, like predators, like shit like that, guys. Like, focusing on a squirrel seems like a massive injustice of of resources. This is crazy, bro.
Will you be taking some legal action?
Yeah.
Oh, the firefight has just begun. This needs to be used as an example of how this state uses their resources and their power. Not only that, the only source of income and donations have come from Peanut's social media. I don't know how I'm going to run the nonprofit animal rescue with over 300 animals at my sanctuary right now without the funding from Peanut.
Oh, yeah.
My wife and I work 3 jobs to pay the other 50% of the $20,000 we have to accumulate in funding a month for these animals. They just
Holy
took
hell.
my best friend for the last 7 years.
And I will never bring him back.
And the sanctuary is called Peanut's Freedom Farm. And you just took Peanut out of the Freedom Farm of our organization. And everybody looked at it like it was just nothing. This is the DEC who is supposed to be helping animals out of bad cases. And you came to a case that had animals in good possession, and you took them and killed them. Not only that, you just put the entire organization in jeopardy, because I don't know how we're going to fund this organization anymore without this social media. I haven't a clue.
That's one of the most awful stories I've ever heard. And you know, people are like, what do you mean awful, awful? Well, the thing is, guys, like, just very unnecessary. I understand when people shoot people because they're, you know, attacking the police or stabbing people, but that's kind of like, okay, you know, you kind of deserve whatever. But a squirrel, killing a squirrel is just so, it's so weird. And a raccoon. Guys, I was in Canada for like 6 weeks. They had raccoons on the fences, like these big fat raccoons. They were like walking on the fences. There were so many of them. I was like, it's unbelievable, you know, but you never kill them. You never think to kill them. What's the DEC? The Department of Educational something sector. Bro, I don't know how they got a judge to sign a warrant to actually go search their house for 5 hours. Like, for what? That just wouldn't, like, you could never get, well, actually, I don't know. But in Ireland, guys, I don't know, could you ever get a judge to sign off to go search somebody's house for, like, even a dog? I mean, maybe you would, like, if a dog, like, ran and bit somebody, but, like, Actually, I think my next door neighbors, I think they got, someone said, but that was actually interfering with money and cows and farmland, but they got their dog taken off them, and the dog actually was put down, but I think he was biting people, not really sure, but that is crazy, bro. I've never heard of that story ever. Like, someone just sent this to me, I'm like, I cannot believe, like, that is such an unlawful death, you know what I mean? Like, the police are these big, hard guys, like, with all these, you know, M16s and all this stuff, you know, bro, a squirrel bitten you. Oh, a little squirrel bit you, did it? Like, really, bro? Like, come on, bro. We have bigger fish to fry in this world, you know. If I was in charge, I'd be like, a squirrel, throw that out. I would just throw out the case. You see, we have incompetence in charge, guys. You have these little losers in charge. It's whack. So they said they euthanized it to test for rabies, but like, because it bit your man, and then they said, oh, he could get rabies, but just get a rabies shot. Like, and domestic squirrels, they don't carry rabies. That's ridiculous, guys. That is ridiculous. They just wanted to stop the non-for-profit or something. You know, it goes deeper than that, guys. I love you all. I'm going to leave it right there. Subscribe. Bro, I'm going to be reporting on a lot more news stories and stuff as well. So stay tuned for all that, guys. And yeah, man, what a disgrace, bro, honestly. I love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one, bro. Peace.